That was gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk about a scene that made your skin crawl. That's one that made my skin crawl. You're like, oh, you can
Yeah.
just imagine all the maggots falling on you.
I
Yeah.
couldn't. I
And those
think.
are definitely real maggots. Her pulling her hair and pulling them out, but like the crunching when they're walking over them,
Yeah.
the falling onto things, 100% real maggot.
Click on the mic, kill all the lights, popcorn in a paper bag, and a list of our worst nights. We've seen the masks, we've heard the cranks, we laugh at the fake blood till it crawls into our week. Remember that scene that messed you up for days. Remember that hands on your eyes, but you still gazed. We drag the monsters out, name every fear you packed. If it made you sleep with the lamp on, we'll say, remember that.
All right, guys, tonight we're going to do the 1977 classic Suspiria. Now, Suspiria is rated R for graphic horror, extreme gore, and intense suspense and surreal imagery and stuff like that. So just remember, this is a rated R movie. But it's also a 1977 supernatural horror film directed by the legend Dario Argento, who co-wrote the screenplay with Daria Nicolodi. Now, look, I can't say these Italian names, so you guys are just going to look past me. But it's partially based on Thomas de Quincey's 1845 essay, Suspiria de Profundis. The film stars Jessica Harper as an American ballet student who transfers to a prestigious European dance academy, but realizes after a series of murders that the academy is a front for a coven of witches. All right, guys. So, Brent, tell us just a little bit about the box office for this, bud.
All right, so this movie was a little bit difficult to find the box office numbers for, unlike most of our movies. But from what I found, the budget was around $1 million. I also heard as high as $4 million. And then the box office numbers, it made $1.8 million in rentals. Wide, I got a number of $50,239, which seems off to me. But I did see $5.7 million in Blu-ray sales. So
Dang.
the numbers were kind of all over the place, but this was a movie made in the 70s. So, and I know it's gotten it's gotten more popular as time goes on as well. So you would expect for sales to increase like that.
Yeah, no doubt. No, Kate. Kate, how about that cast for us, buddy?
Yeah, so with this being, it's got more popular recently. I guess, in recent years it has grown in popularity. This movie didn't have a huge star-studded cast, but I will say the cast in general did a profound job here. Everybody's performance was top-notch and very unsettling. So I'm going to list a few of the cast members here. Our main character here, Susie, is played by Jessica Harper. Her friend who kind of helps unravel this mystery that we see in this film, Sarah, is played by Stephanie Cassini. And then the two other characters that I want to highlight here are the vice directress of the academy, and that's Madame Blanc, played by Joan Bennett. And then kind of like the menacing ballet instructor who's trying to get those ladies to dance and do it correctly. Miss Tanner was played by Alida Valli. And that's some of the main cast members I wanted to list here. And then I couldn't find any information online as to what the name of that dog was, who goes kind of crazy on his owner. But shout out to that dog.
Well, you know what? Before we get started,
Cujo.
Yeah. First off, we got a special guest tonight, Donna, Bryson's or the professor's better half. She's here tonight, and she's actually, I think this movie was actually a suggestion of hers a few months back. So, we're happy to have her on here tonight. So, Donna, why don't you, I'll just put you on the spot here. Why don't you just give us your first impressions of Suspiria, and we'll just go from there.
Okay. So getting into horror when I was younger, it was, Freddy, Michael, Jason, Chucky, the norm. I think I was about 15, 16 when I saw Suspiria for my first time. My first Giallo film, number one. My first like foreign horror film. I think it like resonated with me on like all the beauty of how it was shot, cinematography, the red, the green, the yellows, the blues, pop of colors. I'm glad you guys really enjoyed it, especially the 1977.
Which the remake is good, but it doesn't touch Argento's.
No, I mean you got to think of all the aspects of Argento, like um I mean, I don't know. I love that movie. I think it's beautiful. I think it's touching. I think about like witchcraft and like pagan aspect of it all. I think it's beautiful. It's very creepy, like witches, warlocks, anything like that kind of intrigue me. But I think it's like still one of those things like older movies, especially foreign films, like there's so much more acting in the aspect of being an actor and actress than there is now with like CGI and stuff like that. You're using lighting, you're using their facial structure, their facial shadows in those different lightings to illuminate a different scene, a different line, different plot, whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's just the soundtrack is amazing as well.
Yeah, it
Oh,
You have
definitely is.
the
It definitely is.
goblins, which then, if you look into it, you have the goblins, then you have Goblin. The goblins were a little bit more punk and synth, whereas goblins a little bit more like orchestrated. But I think it's a beautifully done movie. It made me unsettled the first time I seen it. I don't know, again, if it was the lighting or the acting. I think it was a little bit of both. Just seeing something different than that
Awesome.
normal, like, American slasher film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I
that's
tell you what, man, I've always heard of this movie. My mother-in-law's told me about it, and through the years, everybody's heard of Suspiria and these Italian horror movies, but I had never. It's always been a movie that's been on in the background. I've seen clips of it here and there, but I never sit down and actually watched it and taken it all in. And the other night when I was watching this movie, I'm gonna be straight. The movie's not the greatest in the world. It's a 1977 Italian horror film. But the best way I can describe this movie is it's just a work of art. When you look how, uh, even with the voiceover, I think when the actors were doing this film, everybody spoke kind of different languages and they all spoke their own language. And then they just go back and dub over it in whatever country it's going to be released in with that
Mhm.
type of language. And the way they use the colors and the brutal death scenes in this thing, I'll get you guys' take on that stuff here in a little bit. But man, overall, this movie is it's beautiful. I consider this movie, even down to the death scenes, it's a work of art, and that's just the way I see it. Cade and Brent, you guys are a little bit younger. What was you guys' take on this thing?
Brent. You go ahead. I want you to. It's been
Hey,
too
I'm
long
anxious to
since
hear
you've.
from Brent because he's
It's
all
been
about
too
that
long since I've
symbolism.
heard from Brent on here, so I'll let you go
Oh,
first, brother.
well, so the first time I watched this movie was thanks to the professor. So I remember saying, "Hey, I've never watched any Giallo films. I've heard about them, but I've never watched any." And so the professor was like, "Hey, I can hook you up." So he sent me some movies. I watched them. I really enjoyed them, and I will say, it was different than what I thought it was going to be. So just for context, I had just got finished watching Martyrs, like
Oh,
Oh yeah.
a day or
like the
two before.
original
Yeah,
Martyrs?
the original. And so I was like, okay, so this is about to be some brutal, like really disturbing stuff. And so I had that in the back of my mind the whole time I was watching it. I was like, okay, something's about to get crazy, and it never really got like disturbing like that. So I watched it again yesterday within the right headspace of, okay, this is not a disturbing movie. This is just a different type of horror film. And
Right.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I agree with Corky. It's a work of art. Obviously, it's inspired a lot of horror films that we love. The colors obviously was great. I heard that this was one, I believe, is one of the last movies that use Technicolor, I think is
Yeah.
what it's called.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
that's
where you
true.
get the very bright blues, bright pinks and
Greens,
greens.
reds.
So just the very bright colors and
So what's the difference in Technicolor? You always heard that stuff, but I didn't know it was I thought it was this type of camera. Is there like what's the deal
Let
with
me look it up,
Technicolor?
Corky. I
Do you
can
I
ever
say,
search for you.
I say,
remember
Kate,
watching The
look it
Wizard of
up.
Oz?
yeah, I was
Yeah, I
thinking the
have.
Wizard of Oz kind of. I know
Yeah.
they use Technicolor.
Yes, nowadays we have the ability to film something, put filters on it. You could use AI to artificially change an image. It's no big deal, but this dates back to God, the early 1900s, where it says it utilizes a special heavy camera to split light through a prism onto 3 separate strips of black and white film. And then those
Wow.
films get dyed and combined via a dye transfer printing process to create like the intense, durable color. That's what I just found online. I didn't just pull that out of here, I promise.
No, you knew that, Kate.
but like this movie, I've never felt like this watching a movie. The movies that we review, sometimes we do some deeper films. A lot of times we're doing something like the Slumber Party Massacre. But as soon as this movie started and our main character Susie is going through the airport in Germany, you kind of immediately get a sense of the vibes that this movie is kind of setting here. You've got flashes of green light. You've got a very much pronounced red color in some of the clothing that some of the civilians in the area are wearing, and it's just very unsettling. And once our main character Susie makes it to what I'm guessing you would call like the ballerina house, I don't know what you would call that place. She can't go in.
It's like the dance hall.
Yeah, the dance hall. I couldn't tell you the name of it, but those 2 women are going through it inside. One of them in particular is getting chased by this killer. And when the camera pans around this place, you see the giant red walls. And I even read somewhere that they made certain aspects oversized on purpose, like doorknobs, handles to make, I guess, the characters feel smaller to add a sense of oddness to the film. But man, talk about a wild opening scene. You talk about feeling like kind of strange when our main character, or not our main character, but when that lady was upstairs and she was looking out her window and you see those like yellow eyes off in the distance, and there's something there and you don't know what it is, and then he or whatever it is starts pulling her head and slamming it against the glass window, and you
Yeah.
see her face getting like pushed, and it was so strange, when he
But like the barbed wire scene.
Yes.
too,
Oh
like the
man,
We're
whole,
gonna talk
like,
about the
that
barbed
was-
wire scene.
I was cringing at that moment. I was like,
Yeah.
please, God, like I didn't expect that to happen at all. I was like, the last thing I thought was a
it's
room
like,
full of barbed wire.
I think it's one of the films that you actually feel how it's actually going. Like you feel for that character. I mean, what do you see in going through barbed wire anymore? I don't know. Like it just made me cringe. Like I almost felt like I was being plucked by all the barbed wire while
Yes,
watching it.
that's exactly how I felt during that kill scene, and whenever he ties her up to a rope, he throws her through that stained glass, and you
Yeah.
kind of just see her corpse sitting there, and it's so like it's just
Well, the thing
It's-
that
it's weird, and the blood, how red the blood is in this
I
movie.
always loved how
And how thick it is.
Yeah, I've never
that's what
I've
I
never
was going to
seen
say
anything
is
like that.
before he throws her over the edge, he cuts her throat, and just
I didn't see that.
the red, it's almost like a glue that they dyed
Yeah.
red is what
Yeah.
it looks like,
Yep.
and
And he just keeps stabbing her, and it like shows the heart
Yeah,
beating,
yeah.
Oh,
and then the
yeah.
knife going into it, like super cool stuff.
Yeah, that's
And this
insane.
movie is very good at starting you off feeling unbalanced because you're following this girl. There's all the sounds of like her arriving, trying to get back there from New York, and her in the cab. It's raining super hard.
Yeah, you don't even know who
Outside.
she's really talking to when she first like rings the doorbell when she gets there.
Yeah, and she's
Until
like,
the next morning they're like, "We were expecting you yesterday." And she was like, "I tried." And they were like, "We don't know."
but with everything being like different sized and stuff like that, or upscaled to make other things feel small, the butler walking around, that weird nephew, kid, and grandma. Just all the characters were designed in such a perfect way
Of
with the
uncomfortability.
setting to just keep you uncomfortable, even if there's not necessarily anything going on. And that's what's really cool is you don't have to have something going on and you still feel uncomfortable. And that's camera work and characters. Just super cool how it makes you feel the whole movie and the way
Yeah.
it tells its story.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, so I'll read this. We've done kind of got into the movie. One thing I wanted to talk about, I couldn't believe how much rain was coming down when the movie started. It starts off, she's getting off an airplane and going outside to hail a cab, and like nobody is going to stop for her, man. It's just insane. And when she finally, I don't know if this is when she gets in the cab, she finally gets a cab and she's telling the guy where she wants to go, and he's just looking at her like she's crazy. He never even acknowledges, he's like he can't understand her. And finally she has to show him a card, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll take you there or whatever. But is it when she's before she gets in the cab, she asks him, she says, can you help me with my bags? And he just
Yeah,
sits
he
there.
just says no. He
I
speaks
was
English
getting
too,
cracked
you know,
up.
some
Yeah.
version of
Yeah.
English.
She's
I was
like,
like,
has
this
it been
guy's a
raining more?
jerk.
And he's like, 30 minutes. Half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy was not willing to help her whatsoever, so
I
I
mean,
felt
and
for
to be
her.
fair, her pronunciation of where she was going to the ballet school was literally only like half pointed off of what he repeated back
Yeah.
to her when he was finally like, eh.
Well, it sounded like she was saying exactly what he said, you know, but
Right.
Yeah,
but anyhow,
except with a tiny bit of American accent
yeah,
versus the Italian
I
accent.
think these German guys were just kind of giving a little bit of a hard time to the little American girl that just got off the airplane. But let me read this
Yeah.
little paragraph, and then we'll get going on the little first part of the movie. But Suspiria begins with an American ballet student, Susie, is it Banyan? Whatever. Banyan, arriving in Germany to attend the prestigious Tanz Dance Academy during a violent storm. Almost immediately, something feels wrong. A frightened student flees the academy the night Susie arrives and is brutally murdered in the film's most visually and shocking sequences. As Susie settles into the school, strange events escalate, unexplained illnesses, maggots falling from the ceiling, whispered conversations behind locked doors, and teachers who seemed less like instructors and more like wardens. The academy itself feels alive, drenched in surreal reds and blues that make every hallway look like a part of a nightmare. What'd you guys think about that maggot scene, man?
That was gross.
That was
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk
pretty
about a
cool,
scene
though.
that made your skin crawl. That's one that made my skin crawl. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
just imagine all the maggots falling on you.
I
Ugh.
couldn't I
And those
think
were definitely real maggots.
Yeah, it was.
they couldn't fake that back then like
Mm.
that. I mean, those were too real, and I wanna
I
say,
mean, it might
was
have
it
not
because there's a
been
dead
in the
corpse
scene
upstairs?
of her pulling her hair and pulling them out, but like the crunching when they're walking over them,
Yeah.
the falling onto things. Oh,
Ugh.
100% real maggots.
I
Well,
love the
Kate,
timing of that scene. Because
yeah,
she's just
yeah,
sitting there brushing her hair. Everyone's just, her and her roommate are just kind of getting ready, hanging out. And then they both start to notice at the same time. And then when they run out, everybody's running out of their room. So you're imagining like 30 people all having that weird something's not right moment, and just that tension
yeah.
is really makes you squirm.
Yeah, and see, I thought
Yeah.
we was going to get the trope of, oh, there's blood dripping on her head. You know, we're going to get the old horror movie trope like that. But Kate, I was going to ask the same thing. Do you guys think that was just some spoiled meat up there, or was there a chopped up body in that
I
box?
think
Because
it was a
you really
chopped up
couldn't
body.
see, you know?
It kinda seemed like it. I guess they didn't wanna show us up front just to add to the eeriness of the film, but I wanna say I thought I saw an arm or some part of a leg. Like, I'm pretty sure it was a dead person, 'cause the person who went upstairs was the instructor, and obviously she is in on everything that's going there with this coven of witches. So I believe it was.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it was a
You don't
chopped up dead body myself.
you you realize who that was? You don't realize who that was?
No,
That
I
was
have no clue.
actually what was her name again running out of the first scene?
Oh,
Ooh,
was it Pat? Was that her name?
Yeah,
yes.
they put her in the trunk above. They didn't think that she would like decompose. Like 1977 Suspiria is a beautiful aspect for me, but the remake for it's such a different storyline.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch 1977 to like I think it was like the 2017 remake, you get more aspect of what happens and like where things come from and
It gives you a little bit more
yeah, so like
information than
that was the original girl from the first scene that was running out. They ended up killing her, bringing her back, and putting her up in the attic.
Oh, okay. So they
Okay.
they showed a little bit more of the hidden details because some of this movie I was trying to really do is intently like pay attention to the hidden details. You know, I didn't know if Daniel was going to be able to make this show, but I knew that he would probably be able to pull some crazy trivia from this that
Oh,
I
I
would miss.
got you. You just wait. I
So
got you.
so I was, I was trying to pay attention to some of the background details, but
Well, I was going to
that's
say
interesting that
this
they
is
have that. Go ahead,
exactly.
Brent.
I would have
Sorry.
never known that. So this is exactly why we've got Mrs. Professor this time
Yeah.
on. Just laying
We
down
have the
Listen,
doctors
y'all,
here.
this is my favorite movie of top 10 favorite movies of my 38 years existence in this world. Like, it is a beautiful movie. It was my first aspect of seeing a different genre of horror compared to what I was used to as American horror. And seeing that and being, I don't know, free thinking about covens and witches and things like that. Like, I definitely get unsettled by that kind of stuff because I do believe it's true.
Well, I think a lot of foreign movies, and I'll focus on the Giallo, but I think a lot of them they just tell stories differently than Western movies.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, you have less restrictions too in like countries other than the US. Like some US movie productions, you can't play certain things, but from other countries you can.
Yeah, they probably I think Western films probably maybe explain things and maybe try to dumb stuff down at times. Maybe like some of the mainline Western films, because almost this movie tells a story with through dialogue, but mainly through the sets and everything. For me, express so much more
Yeah.
than some words, and so I've never like a lot of times in these big movies we watch, you've got either, a big slasher who's going to carry a movie, you've got crazy special effects or something similar to that. Whereas this movie, I feel like what carries it for me is the art style, and I haven't watched a movie like that in my entire life, I don't think.
Exactly. That's what took some time to get used to because Katie said it perfectly. Uh, their atmosphere told a lot of the story. So
Yeah.
unless you're looking for that, unless you know how to comprehend that, say, okay, what do they mean by the doors being abnormally large or the bright red color of the blood? And, what does all of this mean? Unless you're catching that, it's kind of hard for an American that's only watching American movies anyway to kind of pick up on that. So I thought you said that very well, Cade.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's a good synopsis there, or whatever the word would be.
No, that's it, Corky. You got it.
All right, so where are we at in the movie? So we've had the maggot scene, and now everybody's sleeping in like the big dance hall or whatever. And then they throw this whole scene together supposedly in like a few minutes because the girls they got to have somewhere to sleep, right? And one thing that they put all these mattresses and bed out in this big open area. Then there's these giant white walls, like sheet walls, they build around it. And as they go to bed, all the lights turn off and everything becomes red and starts glowing. And you can see all the shadows behind or the figures behind the sheets and stuff like that. And I thought that was just, even you take a scene to where they put some beds in like a gym and then put white walls around it and just still made that look so awesome, man. What
Oh,
you
it
guys
was
think about that?
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's also unsettling because one, why did they need the walls? What's so
Right.
private?
Well, yeah.
Oh, exactly. But if you're just a student there and you don't know what's going on in that school, I'd be looking at them putting the walls up, and then we're all out in the open here in the middle, and everyone kind of goes back behind the curtain, and then the lights turn off, and you're like, well, why are they behind the curtain?
Right.
And then it brings in a little bit of mystery where they ask the one headmistress or count or madam or whoever.
Are they sleeping there?
Yeah, they're like, "Are you
And
sleeping here too?" And
and
she's
they were
like,
like, "Well, of course." And she was like, they never sleep here."
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, her friend was like, "They don't sleep here, like, they have their own homes." So, it's just weird that they're saying that they're gonna sleep there, and then they normally don't, and then you bring in the one, director, that
yeah,
that one shadow that lays down behind them.
The mater.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
super just creepy scene. The way they executed that shadow and
yeah,
how
The breathing.
like
The
that was.
breathing of that whole scene, when you have Susie and, was it Sarah?
Sarah.
Yeah,
Sarah
that's right.
for Snake. You have her, be like, "Do you hear that?" It's like almost like a trance.
yeah. And did you guys know that this I don't know if it was what it was, whether it was a play or a screenplay or what, but it was originally written with 12-year-old girls in mind. And when they transferred it over, they didn't change the dialogue for like adult women. They kept it, for like 12-year-olds. And so
Childlike.
that's why you
Yeah.
That
see
makes so much sense.
that's why you see like she goes, girls' names that start with S are usually snakes, and the other girl, what was it she said to her? Do you know? She was like
Yeah,
sticking her
they're
tongue
usually
out at her or
snakes,
something
and
like
then she,
that.
like, started hissing. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like, "That's so
Any
strange."
any name with a S is a snake.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Something like
they
that.
kind of left that kind of dialogue in there that doesn't really match the age of the actors in the movie and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And some of the stuff I done in my research said you can go back and rewatch the movie knowing that, and you can pick a lot of it out.
Interesting.
So but yeah,
I
we find that woman, the figure that's behind them as they're sleeping. What'd you call her? She's like the head mistress
The
or something like.
mater.
What's she
She
called? The major?
technically she in this day and age would be like supreme,
Yeah.
but in those kind of times it was like the mater. So Suspirium mater, which is the master and or woman of size,
Mm.
witch of size,
And we find out that
Like
she.
size as in
like
like
Yeah, yeah,
that's
and
why
we.
you can hear her. I mean, again, when it comes to watching Suspiria, you have to keep in mind that there are two other movies that go along in that concept. So you have the three major witches, which is Mater Suspiriorum. I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on the second witch, and then you have the Mother of Tears and the third last part of the Suspiria
Right, right.
uh
wow. I had
trilogy.
I had no idea about the sequels or anything,
I
so that
didn't either.
Oh
that kinda
yeah, I
I think
mean
part two's
that's
Inferno, right? Something like that.
yeah,
yeah,
Inferno.
the
Good.
mother of two.
Yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah. Heck
But we
yeah,
find out
sorry.
that oh, you
You're
we're all
fine.
adults here. But you find out that she is actually the lady that started the school or coven or whatever. And I
Yeah,
believe that
she
the
was like
people.
something odd years old
Yeah, and
and
they
like
eventually
all
burnt
that.
her up and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
that's why they keep her hidden or whatever, because she's supposed to be dead, but we find out she's not dead. If I'm
Yeah,
understanding it
she
right,
just kind of like feeds upon
Yeah,
the energy and, of
Which
the dancers.
we go back to the scene with the maggots, and you wonder, why did they even put anything up in the attic to begin with, even if it was
right.
just groceries. Why is it in the attic,
That's gonna
not
be the
like in the
hottest place
kitchen?
there.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes you wonder whether it was a body or produce, but if it was left there on purpose, knowing that there's going to be maggots falling through, to create that amount of energy where everybody's just so scared and freaked out, and they're going to continue being freaked out. Like, if I found a spider on me, I'm going to still think there's a spider on me like an hour later, you know?
Yeah,
So if they're going to get everybody that freaked out and all of that energy and then go put them in that open circle and close them off, and then she goes in there and just lays and she's just breathing, it's
Huh.
like, is she
That
just
makes so much
feeding
sense,
on
Bryson.
all of that energy, and they brought her down for that.
I was
yeah.
gonna ask some details about that scene and I was starting to kind of connect the dots whenever you were explaining that. So essentially, they created all these these negative events to create negative emotions, and we actually see, I think her name's Helena or whatever the main witch is here. That's her legitimately laying behind that bed sheet. Her spirit feeding off of all the negative emotions
Mhm.
from inside,
That's
right?
that's the way I'd take that scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot
Yeah,
of
see,
sense. And
I didn't pick up on that either. That she was
I
feeding
didn't either
off
as
of.
I watched it. Then I went and done research and listened to other podcasts, and they were talking about it. So I'm like, okay, that does make sense
And
now.
something too that I heard, I thought that Susie had said she has heard that snoring and those sounds before,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah,
she's had
seems like
experience with it. There's something Susie has either an acute awareness of this more than the other girls that are in the academy. Is she's not like a medium or anything, Susie,
didn't
or is
they
she
come to
just
find out she's a good witch or something like that?
Yeah, she's more of like a good witch, but the thing is she's a projectile for energy, for
okay?
spirits and or witches and or warlock. She has a spirit. I mean, they have her dance. Again, one of my favorite movies is Suspiria, 1977. But for people that don't understand it, unless you read the short story, you're not going to understand what the whole coven brings. Watching the remake, which again
Yeah.
is a beautiful experience, it's a very long experience, but it is a beautiful experience. You're going to it's the energy from these girls, these people that put their soul and heart into their dance, their craft. It's all a craft. If you can feed another witch's craft with your own craft, you deplete their energy and it goes to here, which again, you need to keep going with the Suspiria trilogy.
It's like a
I
siphon.
think so. Yeah, I want to connect
Right.
the dots even more. I'm very much interested in the story now.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
watch the remake.
Well,
I haven't
yeah,
seen the remake, but
The
I
Oh,
definitely
remake's
want to
really
watch it
good.
next.
It is really good, actually.
yeah.
As a fan of
You've opened up my eyes
Suspiria
to it.
and also Radiohead, Tom York does the score in the remake. I think it's 2016 again, but
It's got the White Witch from Narnia.
you have Mia Goth.
Oh yeah, Mia
You
Goth is
have
good in it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
Mia
that's
and I
cool.
Goth's
think
in
that
it?
was one of
Okay.
her first movies, honestly,
that's cool.
before all the Pearl and stuff. But like, it's a
Which is
little bit
another movie
easier
we
to
need to
understand. 'Cause I
get
had to
Yeah.
to, by
watch
the way.
Suspiria 77 like 8 times before I
We'll definitely
understood it.
put that one on the list. But during this time, Susie's doing some little ballet and she actually gets sick and her nose starts bleeding and all that good stuff, collapses inside of a class. And as Susie grows weaker and increasingly isolated, her friend Sarah begins investigating the mysteries surrounding the school. She uncovers hidden corridors and secret meetings, suggesting the staff are concealing something sinister. Sarah's search for the answers lead to one of the film's most tense chase sequences, ending in her gruesome death. Now that's the barbed wire scene. Throughout the middle section, director Dario Argento focuses less on logical storytelling and more on atmosphere using exaggerated color, shadow, and the haunting progressive rock score by Goblin to create a dreamlike dread. Now, here's a cool thing about the barbed wire scene. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. She climbs through the window, falls down into a whole mess of like barbed wire, razor wire, whatever. Now, here's the thing. When this movie was filmed, it obviously was not filmed in 4K. Now, I watched it in 4K when I watched this when I rewatched it here. And in the ultra high definition, you can definitely tell that that's just wire. There's no razors on it. But, back when it was filmed in 77, I'm sure you couldn't tell that. So it looked like she was just rolling around in a bunch of razor wires. But as she falls down in there, you think to yourself, how did she not look down and see that wire down there?
I mean,
that's
I think
done.
she saw the wire, but the thing
Well-
is that she knew that the guy was behind her. So she
Well,
kind of had to
yeah.
make a decision between, okay, am I going to jump into the barbed wire or am I going to just stand here for the guy to
Yeah.
kill me?
Yeah,
So
she
that's what
just
I
was
got out of
not.
that.
Well,
she
I've
she
got an
probably
answer
just
for you
fell and didn't even
guys.
think about it.
Here's what was going on. This came directly from the director. As she goes into that room, you notice everything gets blue, that real saturated, deep blue color. Well, that blue, according to the director, is for the audience to see. What she's seeing is pitch black. That blue color is just for us to see what she can't see.
So she's in the dark
Yeah,
doing
so
that.
while she's
Dude.
rolling around in that barbed wire,
Oh my
from her
gosh.
perspective, she would be in pitch dark, pitch blackness. But that
Oh.
saturated blue color is for the audience to be able to see what's happening as
Okay,
she's rolling around in that.
That makes
Yeah,
it
that
so much
changes
worse.
that.
Thank you,
That changes
Corky.
that kill scene
Thank you
a
for the.
lot.
Yeah, that's I didn't know that.
Dude, talk about
Ew.
just pure torture, man. No wonder
Yeah.
she didn't see it, but she was there for it felt like forever, maybe like 2
Yeah,
Very
minutes.
long
I
scene.
feel dirty even hearing that.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah.
It was a very long scene.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And
she
we
just kept
can't-
falling down too. I guess
Yeah,
that's
that-
why. I guess
that-
it makes sense. Like she couldn't see anything.
Look, I used to be a correctional officer, and I used to walk around at the facility I worked at, and I would look up at that razor wire, and let me tell you how sharp that stuff is. There was a basketball court out there, and I got it, and you see the razor wire. It's like in the circles around the top of the fences, just like she fell down into. I took a basketball and tossed it up there on those razor wires. It sliced the basketball in half and deflated it just by me tossing it up on the top of it like that. So that's what she fell into and was rolling around in, was all that razor wire like that. That's how sharp that
Yeah,
stuff is.
I think I would just rather take the knife to the head or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Oh
let's
no.
get this over with. That's like pure torture at that point. I
So,
did not
Kate,
know that.
Kate, can you look up and see what the blind guy's name was in this
Yeah,
movie? 'Cause
I actually have him on the cast. Yeah, so
Yeah,
his name was Daniel.
Daniel.
He was the blind
Daniel.
pianist.
yeah, so we
Not
can't.
from Daniel.
Yeah, that's exactly how his
So
name was
Daniel,
called.
he is the guy that
Daniel.
plays the piano for them while they're dancing. And I don't remember what exactly he did to piss off the coven, but his kill scene is he's walking through this giant
Yeah,
open, what would you call that, Brent? Like
It's just like it's a courtyard of some
yeah,
yeah.
some
courtyard,
sort.
yeah. And his dog's going
Apparently
crazy.
His dog attacked that little kid.
his
Yeah.
dog.
That's what
attacked-
happened.
And he was
Well,
like, he's
that
like, there's
boy.
no way that
Yeah.
dog would do that.
Did his dog do it, or they just framing him because?
No,
of
I think they're
something?
framing him because it's a service dog. It was a
Yeah,
sweet
yeah.
little
Yeah.
dog.
He was like, there's no way.
Yeah, we watched that dog the whole movie up until that point. He's just like hanging out, listening to the piano with his blind owner. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, up
He
until
ain't
he
doing
ripped his owner's
anything.
throat apart, he was fine.
Yeah.
But that's
He's
what
a good
happens to
boy.
our blind buddy. The dog starts barking because he obviously sees something going on that the guy can't see. Then all of a sudden he just
Well,
turns
you
and
have
attacks him.
the reference of there's a certain kind of god that they referenced on the top of the courtyard pavilion top.
Like that big
Mhm.
statue.
It was like the statue of the bird of some sort,
Yeah, I've
almost
seen
like
that.
Pazuzu in The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Very similar, but then you see, if you can remember, there's a certain 10 to 15 second of a witch coven riding brooms as a
Yes,
shadow.
that was so creepy.
I didn't catch that. Yeah,
that-
that's
No,
cool.
I
okay,
missed that.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's right after it happens, and then you see it zooms in on the statue, and then it zooms out, and then it zooms in on the dog fighting him.
And that was a
eating him,
brutal
whatever.
scene. That was a brutal scene.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
it was. And it's almost sad because, you
Yeah.
know, that dog loved everybody there until that moment.
So do we think the witches put a spell on the dog to make him turn on his
Yeah, for
owner?
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
most
Like, they
definitely.
like what's insane is that they actually had the dog eating something. So apparently that did require a lot of crazy coordination to get that scene.
Well, I think that
filmed,
was a
you
hand
know.
puppet 100% myself.
Was it really?
I think it was some.
It looked real. It looked real. I couldn't tell.
Wait,
like the
what are
dog.
you? What the dog was eating was a hand puppet, or the dog?
What the dog? I think with the eating scene, it was a
The
hand
dog
puppet.
was eating like a dilapidated pig corpse.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it
Now
was real.
that scene, I'm talking about the attack scene. I think that was a
Oh.
hand puppet.
Oh, maybe so. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
maybe so.
yeah,
That was
when
for
the dog's
sure.
eating, that
On
was definitely the
yes,
dog.
I'm so
yeah.
sorry. I'm so
That's what.
sorry.
Yeah, we were just we were on the same page because I thought that I was talking about the dog actually eating the flesh because it
Okay,
looks
that's
real.
right.
Yeah, I was freaking out. But oh yeah, that scene where he eats like chews at his throat, like you can see something.
What was that?
What in the world
80s
was that?
ballad.
Anytime you talk about a dog eating scene, stuff like that happens. Hey, but you know that's a good time to transition into some trivia. What do you guys
I
think?
will say real quick, all I could picture when you were talking about a hand puppet and like the eating scene was like the equivalent of like Kermit the Frog or something.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
But
me,
like a
yes,
dog, like
dude.
or like a literal hand with just like a little like dog face on it.
Am I allowed to make a reference really quick? I'm so sorry.
Sure.
Of course.
Okay, so we're talking about Suspiria. The opening scene of Suspiria with the fall and hang scene and the coagulated jello blood. You have that. But then I think about like Ghost Ship and how intricate that opening scene was. And to me, I feel like it's kind of the same.
You talking
With
about
the
where the
wire.
wire cuts everybody's head off?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like
Yeah.
just
the
like when she
bullshit.
falls through the stained glass, it's a
Oh my god,
Well,
that
we
thing.
didn't talk about it,
Um,
but when that glass falls down and kills the woman that
Yeah.
lives there, when he placed her body and all the shards are sticking out of her body, he done that as a work of art as well. How
Oh,
she's
yeah.
laying there
even
and how
before
the
it
colors,
fell.
yeah, that was all
Dude.
placed like that as a work of art. How the colors
You-
were coming through the glass and all that stuff, that was all done as an artistic piece. How she was laying there.
So I've never seen Ghost Ship, but 'cause it was 2002 when that movie came out. I was 2 years old.
We got the ghost ship.
But I remember seeing this movie at like the Blockbuster, like near where I lived, and just being like, man, I was like 4
With
years
that
old
big
when I saw it. I
ship
was like,
with a
man,
skeleton on front of.
I can remember looking at that and being
Cade,
like,
is that-
no.
I'm blocked up. Was that you, Cade, talking about it?
Yeah.
You were still alive when a Blockbuster existed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had one in
Yeah.
our
heck
had one
yeah.
in our hometown
The
up
last-
until like
The last
Man,
one
y'all
was
make
me
it
feel
left
old,
it left
man,
probably
dang.
in like 2010, maybe.
We went to the one in Alaska. Me and my
Oh,
daughter.
did you?
Yeah, it was like 2016, 17. The last one there, other than the Utah one. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, oh, you're fine. The movie store in my hometown was actually called Movie Magic. It wasn't Blockbuster, but there was one
Yeah,
near
boy.
where we live.
Hey, check it
Oh, I
out,
thought you were
Cade.
talking about the one in
I went
Athens.
into the movie Magic one day and they was like, boom, you won. I said, what did I win? I was whatever customer that day and won a free copy of the movie The Fly
Dude,
Oh,
no
That's
way.
sweet.
up in Movie
Cool.
Magic.
I
son.
still
What's up with it?
have a PlayStation 1 game from Movie Magic that I never
Where
returned.
was Movie Magic? What town?
It was
Uh,
beside Domino's in Etowah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where you're talking about.
Yep, right off
Yeah.
411. You can see it.
Up
Now
on the
it's like
hill.
now it's like a storage building. But
Yeah,
that place
everything's
was
a storage building in
booming.
Etowah now.
Wasn't
That
it
was a booming
also
place.
wasn't it also a tanning?
Yeah, it was. Like all the people that worked there were just like completely orange. They walk in and say, "What movie you guys want?" Like I don't know, but they were like a bunch of high schoolers. It was just
I would have
fun.
loved to see. Hey, you want to copy The Fly?
Dude, literally, I just rented games from there, and then I'd stare at the horror section and be traumatized as like a
I need
5-year-old.
Grand Theft Auto and Friday the 13th Part 4.
Yeah, give me that right now. I'll give it back to you in 5 days. Give me that long rental. But I guess you said we're doing trivia now, Corky. These questions now. Last week, these trivia questions were these.
Well,
these
we ain't
AI
relying on
questions.
ChatGPT now. I knew Daniel wasn't going to be here today, and so I went ahead and took notes as I went through this movie. So now we're going to do some trivia. The first
That's how you
question.
set your marker.
That's all for editing, buddy. Just all right. First question: rain scene, taxi. Number in the back of the taxi window. What is the number? Anybody got an answer for that?
What answer you say your name?
Can I go? Cade
Cade.
132.
No.
so many numbers that exist, bro.
I'll say it's a 4-number number.
Okay.
3,
I didn't know that one.
2,
and I
1.
should.
The number was 1,248. 1248.
Okay.
All right.
That one was tough. It was dark.
Oh, listen,
That
I
was a tough
have
scene.
I have Danieled out on you
no
guys.
idea.
Now, I want you to remember for the second question, the first scene of the movie, as she's walking into the airport. She walks through a door, and there are 2 movie posters to her left. What was the name of the movie on that poster?
Dang. You guys
God,
took
right.
questions from like
God,
the first
right.
5 seconds of the movie.
One of them wasn't like Alice
No,
something, right?
might have been. That's not that one I've got wrote down though.
Okay, never mind. No.
It would be some like
I'll give you a
European
hint.
movie.
I'll give you a hint. It's a type of ham.
Top of ham.
Rose.
Roast.
You guys give? You guys done?
Honey
The Cure?
baked.
Huh?
The Cure?
Capricola?
All right. The answer was
The Cure?
Black Forest.
Oh, not the
Okay.
Cure.
Oh my god.
All
I
right.
don't even know what the
Oh
Cure
my
is.
god.
You're close,
I was thinking of
Forrest,
Cure
Sam.
You were
Like
close.
a panda cure?
All right.
What?
Hey,
So
I said
far,
honey
you
baked.
guys are batting goose eggs. Kate, it's 0-0-0.
I want to watch
right?
that movie, Brett.
Yep,
All right.
I've got the scores. I'm keeping up
Third
with it.
question. Maybe we'll get this one.
Seth Rogen would star in that film.
What was the breed of the blind guy's dog?
Cade.
German Shepherd.
Cade.
Oh,
No, Donna gets the point. She's got it.
Yeah,
I'll take a half a point for that.
All right. Give Donna half
she
a
got
point.
full point.
We didn't explain the
I got
rules to
it.
her. We should have
I'm
done
giving-
that.
I'll give her
That's
a
my
full-
fault.
Wait,
Okay.
I got 2 whole points and then a half, so I got 2.5 points.
You have
now.
1/2 of a point.
I'm gonna give her a full point.
You gonna give her a full
Or
point?
a
Okay.
half point.
All right.
Sure, we'll do that.
Cade's the
She's our
statistician up
guest
there. We'll
first
leave
She
time.
it.
She
deserves a
deserves
full
it.
point.
Yeah,
She
all right.
deserves a full point.
Full point.
This is her movie. She gets full point.
All right.
I did show all y'all Suspiria.
Question
right.
number 4 of 5. What is the
I get to
name
show you
of
honey
the
baked.
What is the name of the dance company she's going to?
Oh man, I couldn't even pronounce it if I
literally
wanted
just
to.
read this off. 3,
Honestly.
2. It's
You,
the,
you should try it, Donna.
all right, it's
Try.
the,
I can't even pronounce. I couldn't even.
Now go.
it's
go,
the
Kate.
Tans
You
Dance
have no
Academy.
idea.
highlighted first.
It is the
Huh?
Tans Dance Academy.
Hands.
Tans.
I said, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Hands.
She had it.
Well, with how this is going, you're gonna win with 1 point, so it doesn't matter.
Corky has
Only because of the shirt, actually. Anyway.
Corky has gone
Okay.
full Daniel.
In what country does the film take place?
Brent,
Cade.
Brent,
Germany.
Germany. All right, so I'm gonna give 2 more.
One now.
We'll give 2 more. Who directed
How many
Suspiria?
maggots were in this movie?
Somebody say their
Bryson.
name first. Who directed it?
Bryson.
Bryson.
Go Bryson.
Dario Argento.
All right. Dario Argento. All right.
I think I blagged out.
No, you're good.
No,
I
you're
heard
good.
every. I heard the whole time. I was waiting on Corky
Yeah, I
to
heard
like
you.
to,
No,
to
you're
get it.
good.
I heard you as soon as you said it.
All right. The 5th or is this the whatever? Final question. All right. What color dominates the film's lighting design, becoming a visual signature of the movie? Cade.
Red.
Yes, red is it.
We all have 1 point, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Donna did name the locate like the place where the dancers are, so she should take a half point and win this.
Yeah.
What?
You
Yeah,
did,
I
I heard
think-
you say the name. You said the
I
name
think
of the dance
that,
academy.
I think Donna and Bryson get to share this win.
Yeah. Yes.
Professors. Woo.
Yeah.
Thank
There you go.
Thank you.
Donna is awesome.
All right, guys. That's
Good job,
Oh,
Donna.
thanks. Yeah.
Let's take it again.
Oh, they're
Another
asking for
round
an
of applause.
encore.
You're too
They're asking for an encore, guys.
All right, guys.
That was some hard
trivia.
I
trivia,
love
Corky.
trains.
Donna on her first episode of the Remember That podcast. Her and the professor take the trivia challenge for the win.
Boom.
All right.
Good job.
So that moves us on to the final act of the movie. Now, in the final act, Susie pieces together the truth. The academy is a front for a coven of witches led by the ancient Helena Marcos, also known as Mother Superiorum. Did I say that right? After discovering the
Yeah,
hidden chamber
so.
where the witch resides, Susie confronts and fatally stabs her, good Lord, triggering chaos and fire throughout the building. As the academy burns, Susie escapes into the rain, laughing almost hysterically, leaving audiences to question whether she is liberated or fever changed. or forever changed. Hey, boy, I'm jacking this up. God, Suspiria
Corky, how
ultimately
much did
stands.
Corky, how much did you smoke before coming on
Hey,
this
my
podcast?
mouth is
Corky's
dry.
got a
I think he just got off the set of Honey Baked.
I know.
he did.
A surreal
Corky,
fairy
you've gotta
tale
do an
of beauty and
audiobook.
brutality where atmosphere and visual intensity matter more than explanation, cementing its legacy as one of horror cinema's most stylistically unforgettable films. And hopefully
I'm just
I
waiting
will
for him to
learn
do
how
the
to
Seth
read better.
Rogen laugh.
Corky,
All
that
right.
was well
I
said.
can't handle
What's
this.
everybody's final
Just
You,
final
never.
Corky,
thoughts of
you've
the
got to
movie?
do an audiobook one day, and then like they just leave in all the unedited stuff.
Oh man,
I
would be
really
jacked
liked
up.
the mystery like wall, like that secret wall, and
Yeah.
how in the very beginning,
A secret iris?
yeah, secret iris, the like what she was yelling in the very beginning of the movie, like
Mhm.
that information was already there the whole time.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
irises painted on the secret walls that intertwine and like flip and reverse it, like Missy Elliott, and you know,
And at one point, she's sitting. Susie is sitting in that office talking to the madam or whatever, and telling her that she heard those two words, and it's right
Yeah.
behind.
and she's like, I don't know what
And
you're
she was
talking
like,
about.
"Oh, like thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'll let the police know." And then it just like cuts, and so like I thought that was really cool that
Yeah.
that was even brought up in the room, like it was
So
in the
that
same scene.
so that was a really cool tie-in, like you said, to the beginning. And I was also going to say there were two parts of this film that genuinely gave me a little bit of a little scare, you know.
Just a little
They
bit.
were both in the last, just a little bit of just a little scare. They were both in the last act. When you see that guy, I don't know, he was like the butler, I think,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
you see him kind of like stalking in. That was pretty creepy. Like he looked genuinely freaky. And then when you see the zombified corpse of the dead girl, who got cut in the barbed wire,
With
when
her
she comes
eyes
in
held
and
open
she's
by
laughing.
She
wires, man.
was
Did you guys notice
creepy.
that?
Man,
No, I didn't know.
yes.
Oh,
I
that
didn't
was
notice that, but when
intense.
she came in and her face was all cut up and she's
Yeah.
like laughing like a crazy person
Yeah.
holding the knife, like that was genuinely freaky.
Reminded me of the
So,
Evil Dead.
Yes,
yes,
that's what I was
yes, it
thinking
did.
about.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. Definitely a different type of movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. I'll be honest with you guys, this is going to go into my rotation. I'll watch this movie probably every chance I get because it's one of those. I'll just put it on in the background, man, just because it's just a good movie. I didn't really understand it a
Yep.
lot as I watched it. I'm not gonna lie, but as I've studied on it and done research after watching it, it's a very good movie and it's deep. So I was excited to watch it.
that's
And we got to
what
do some more of these Italian films, man. I really enjoyed it.
this show and talking with Bryson and Donna has opened my eyes up to more of the subliminal stuff that I didn't notice the first time. And so I think with a rewatch of this and then diving into the sequels, I think that's going to be super interesting because I didn't notice, the beginning of the movie with a lot of the final scene being revealed. I didn't pick up on that. I think I was too busy like looking at the colors like a little
Yeah.
kid.
It's
Like,
me too, bro.
just yeah, I was like, this is incredible.
I
I'd
was like,
never
this is a
experienced something
pretty
like this.
movie.
And that final scene was creepy. I believe the witch, when she walks into the room, Helena is laying in bed and she immediately notices Susie is there because she either drops something and she gets alerted and you hear her, talking to her. And she had such a menacing and creepy voice, and she alludes to the door being like a door to hell. And I was sitting there like, man, there's something about the 1970s like movies like this, like with the Exorcist, where there's no up in your face jump scare. It's just the message behind certain things just creeps me out and gives me chills. When she said that, I was like, man, I'm back again. I'm 9 years old watching The Exorcist, just creeped out by
It's
all
also
these
the grainy.
subliminal. Yeah, the
It's
grainy
the grainy
film. It's just
film that makes it
Yeah.
look like you're
you.
watching some sort of like home
Yeah,
footage
it's
thing,
just
and you're like,
it's
"Ugh."
hard. I don't know if it's like today, like things are filmed and things look so great, high frames, crazy resolution. But there's something about that filter or even the way they film this, it adds to that horror in my eyes.
Mhm.
So I love this movie. I appreciate you guys bringing it up to me. My wife was like, "What are you watching, dude?" Like she just kind of came in and saw this, and I was like, "This is something really sick." So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
100%.
Yeah, it's just a different ride than American horror. I mean, it's definitely prettier in the aspect of gore, but depends on what type of gore you really like too.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, cool.
Well,
Y'all want to rate that thing? Or
let's
Corky, did
do
you
it,
have
man.
something?
No, man, you just took the
Cool.
words right out of my mouth, baby. Who wants to go first?
I
Well,
think go Bryson.
I'd speak for both of us. 10 out of 10 on our end.
Yeah,
Oh,
no doubt,
nice,
no doubt,
dude.
no doubt.
10 out of 10.
Cade, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, so I have, my score averaged out, and a lot of times when we do this, I honestly sometimes change it because of how the movie made me feel. But I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10. I know I kind of went on a little monologue there before, but this is just a crazy experience, and I had no idea that I would feel like this after this film. I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't see anything about it beforehand, so I came in this movie completely blind, just like Daniel in the movie, and I loved it. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
That's awesome. Brent, what did you give
All
it,
right.
buddy?
So I gave it a 7.2 out of 10. So that rounds down to a 7. And this is a film that the more that I watch, the more I already know it's going to grow on me. Like the more I understand it and pick up on these little things that Donna and Bryson were kind of opening our eyes to, plus after I get finished watching the remake, I feel like I'm going to learn a
Yeah.
lot more about the backstory.
Yeah.
That 7 out of 10 will probably increase to an 8 out of 10 or even a 9 out of 10 eventually. So it was a really good movie, and thank you for letting me borrow it, first of all, but also for opening all of our eyes to this movie, and hopefully our audience can enjoy it too because of your guys' passion for this movie.
Yeah, that's awesome. For myself, I will give it an 8 out of 10. And you know what? It could easily be a 10 out of a 10. But the only reason I'm going to knock it down to an 8 out of 10 is because during my first watch, I didn't really understand it. And I had to go back
Right.
and actually do some homework to understand it. So, first watch, a little hard to understand. And that's, you know what? I'm American. I'm not Italian. So, that's just part of it. But hey, absolutely awesome movie. Absolutely gorgeous movie. The music was awesome. Just phenomenal movie. Like I said, I can't believe I went this long in my life and hadn't really watched it. I had seen parts of it, but as far as an actual sit down and actually deep dive into it and watch it, fully, first time I'd ever done it, and it was just an awesome experience. So if I give it an 8, Cade, what's that give us as a collective?
Yeah, that gives us an average of a 9. So this is from the Remember That podcast. This is a highly rated movie. Probably, I think so far up there, maybe with Frankenstein. I'll have to look. I'll have to go back and look. Maybe this is even higher. This is highest rated movie so far this year, I think, at a 9 out of 10. So
Heck yeah, I can see that definitely. So there it is. Suspiria gets a 9 out of 10 from the Remember That crew. We want to thank Donna for coming on and guest hosting with us tonight. We really appreciate your
Thanks for
insights
having me.
and everything like that. Also, before we cut out of here, I know Donna's got a Suspiria shirt on from the Cult of Cult. I've got my sweet Halloween shirt from the Cult of Cult. Go check them out and use our code HorrorPod at checkout. Get you 10% off and just help support this podcast and let us keep doing what we love to do, man. But I love this movie, love this show. Appreciate everybody doing the homework and all that good stuff. And can't wait till we figure out what we're going to do next week. Having said that, guys, appreciate everybody tuning in, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. See ya.
see you. Bye.
See ya,
Goodbye.
bye.
Bye.
Click on the mic.